Everyone, today we're going to be talking about When Dimple Met Rishi. Like I said, today we're going to be talking about When Dimple Met Rishi. I read this book a while ago. I read it for Booktubeathon 2017, and I'm finally getting around to my book reviews for those, so I'm feeling good about that. But for When Dimple Met Rishi, there are a lot of views around. There are a lot of videos and reviews around. So I'm gonna keep this short, just because you've probably heard a lot about it and you probably even read it. So I'm gonna keep it short and sweet and simple. So first, for my spoiler-free review. So basically, When Dimple Met Rishi is about a girl named Dimple. And she's a young Indian girl, and she basically doesn't believe, but isn't for all of the total traditional Indian traditions. I did that wrong. She's not for all of the Indian traditions when it comes to being a woman in these traditions, you know. She's not trying to get married right away. She doesn't want to be a housewife. She wants to code. She wants to be in coding and technology and gaming and app designing. She wants to do all of that. And for her culture, that's not really something that she's supposed to do. And her mom is always trying to push her to be more Indian, you know, to wear the eyeliner, the kohl eyeliner, to wear saris, and to stop wearing jeans all the time. And but she's like, I really want to do this. And she's from California. You know, California is a great place to be for those things. She got into Stanford University. That's where she's going to go in the fall. But her dream for the summer, to have the complete summer before freshman year, is to go to InsomniaCon. And InsomniaCon is basically, it's a camp, but camp isn't a good enough word for it. It's basically a place where young adults, young children, or young teenagers get to go who are interested in coding and apps and all that kind of stuff. They get to compete, and when they compete, they get a chance to meet. They get a chance to meet like one of the top coders ever, and that is one of Dimple's goals. So they get a chance to meet Jenny Lin, who is apparently one of the top coders, and especially top women coders in the US, if not the world. I can't remember at this point. So that is her absolute goal. She wants to go in, win InsomniaCon, and be great. She wants to sprinkle some Indian girl magic on that, and she's ready. On the other side, there is Rishi. Rishi is a young Indian boy, who has grown up with his traditional values and has really accepted them as part of his life. He believes fully in his role as being an Indian male. You know, his parents were part of an arranged marriage, and they love each other, and they've been together for a long time, and he knows he used to be part of an arranged marriage. He's going to MIT in the fall. He's always worked hard. He's always upheld the Indian traditions in his family, unlike his younger brother, who loves basketball, doesn't always uphold the Indian tradition. So he's always felt the pressures of making sure he's the one to continue this for his parents. And through it all, I don't know if what I'm about to say is a spoiler or not. That's what I'm trying to figure out, if this classifies as a spoiler. So I'm just gonna say it's a possible spoiler. So through it all, he ends up going to InsomniaCon after, it's a spoiler, after basically Dimple's mom tells Rishi's parents that she's going to be there. So he ends up going to InsomniaCon. Someone who has no interest in coding whatsoever ends up going in order to meet Dimple, because they are to be in an arranged marriage. Granted, nobody has told Dimple this. Nobody's told Dimple this, and nobody told Rishi that Dimple did not know that. So next thing Rishi knows is he's walking up to this girl and is basically like, I'm supposed to be who you're with for the rest of your life. I'm your future husband. And she's like, no bitch. And just throws her coffee in his face and is out. And the next thing she knows, she's seeing him in the dorm room, dorm hall, and is like, why are you here? So it turns out his parents got him in Insomnia Con so that way he could spend time with Dimple and they could get to know each other and then one day be married and have a wonderful little Indian family together. And Dimple is not about that life. She didn't like it being sprung on her and is kind of hesitant at first. But I think that's where I'm gonna leave it off with what the book is about. Just because my thoughts on the book, I love the book. I did love the book. Once I got over the fact that it was not about coding whatsoever. Like it was not about coding. It was not really about Dimple's dreams of coding. Like, I mean, it was scattered in there, here and there, you know, a little mention here that they're working on their project, little mention here that she's working on the project. But mainly it was about this budding romance between Dimple and Rishi. And honestly, like, if I had read the synopsis and thought this was about to be like women in coding and not women in relationship, I'd be kind of annoyed. But I picked it up because it was popular. It was a popular book, and I really, you know, I liked that it was a diverse read. And but it's really about their relationship and how their relationship grows through this book. And so I liked the book. I liked the way it was written. I liked the way you got to see from both perspectives. I also liked that it brought up the conversation between traditionalists and non-traditionalists when it comes to religion, especially in this day and age. You know, we still, as young people go, we still have a lot of people who are very, very a part of religion, whatever their religion may be. But then we also have a large part of the population who's no longer religious, and there's just starting to be a ever-growing amount of non-religious people. And sometimes there's a clash in those worlds. But, so I liked the way Sonia Menon talked about them, or showed each person's point of view and each person's perspective. I also liked how it was a little bit about go for your dreams, even if it's not something your family thinks that you should do. Go for what you want to do and what makes you happy, because I think that's really important. It's something important to remember for everybody. You know, you should always do what makes you happy, because if you see yourself 8 down the roads and you're doing something because your parents told you to do it, you might realize that you're not actually happy with what you're doing. So I really appreciate that message as well. I'm not really a critical reviewer about writing style and writing this way and that unless something really, really bothers me. So I didn't really see anything that really bothered me. I was really enjoying the cultural appreciation while reading this, because, you know, it also talks about, you know, being Indian amongst, you know, a lot of predominantly white people in a situation, being, you know, maybe not financially, you know, like high financial status, maybe being, you know, more middle class, being around a whole bunch of people who have a lot of extra money. And then you also see, not only do you see, you know, you've got your traditionalists in Rishi, you've got your semi-non-traditionalists, but she still takes part in some traditional aspects in Rishi. And then you've got one more character who has just decided he is not feeling his Indian heritage. He has changed the way he wants people to pronounce his name, because it's easier for predominantly white people instead of just telling people what his name is pronounced. And so you see all aspects of what it's like to be a part of this culture. And I really liked it. I really enjoyed that part. I think that's why I love this book so much, because, you know, when characters are, you know, non-people of color, when characters are people of color, it's a lot of fun to read those perspectives written by authors. And also, it's fun to see those traditions and values that are bestowed amongst different cultures. And a saturated market of predominantly white authors with predominantly white characters, it's sometimes just, it's refreshing to read, and I like diverse reads, you know. I'm not going to start ranting about diverse reads because that's not what this is about, but I really enjoyed this book once I understood it was not about women in coding. When I understood it was not about women in coding and it was about a romance, we were good. And so I just had to get over that. So it was your typical young adult contemporary with some good messages in it. So I recommend it. I'm pretty sure I give it 4 stars. 4 stars, if not 5. Depends how happy I was feeling at the time on when I was doing my Goodreads. So I definitely give it 4 or 5 stars. So I would check it out. But that's all for me today. So until next time, keep turning the pages.